Good afternoon, folks. I hope you can all hear me okay. This is a brief webinar with regards to the MSc Food and Nutrition, with the idea of, I suppose, presenting information for those interested in undertaking postgraduate study at Ulster University. So as I said, we're going to be discussing the content of the MSc Food and Nutrition, which also has a postgraduate certificate and postgraduate diploma element to it. So what are the benefits for studying at Ulster University? Well, I suppose we want to think that our courses help people change career. They provide that knowledge base, that they're useful for people who are seeking a competitive edge in employment, because obviously it's a challenging employment market at present. Individuals who are simply looking to increase their knowledge in the area of food and nutrition to develop themselves personally. You have the advantage of being taught by experts in the field of nutrition who are highly ranked international research scientists in their own right as well. You have the advantage also of a very effective e-learning support unit that provides a supported study environment so that you are able to undertake these distance learning programs as you move through the course, and obviously that you can expect to be taught by academics with the appropriate knowledge base and professional standing. And also we then have links to industry bodies and employers. And as you can see, our alumni boasts over 200,000 students at this point worldwide. So some of the quantifiable benefits, because at the end of the day, you're going to be spending money in order to acquire knowledge and qualifications. And what are some of the quantifiable benefits? Well, I suppose if we look at information from the Department of Education, from the graduate labour market, and from the Department of Education in 2019 as well, we can see that on average, a postgraduate student is earning approximately £7,000 more compared to graduates. That 21% of postgraduates are more likely to be in high skilled employment, and that there is also evidence for increased earnings as a result of postgraduate qualification. So there seems to be an economic value in terms of advancing your postgraduate education. So as I say, we're going to talk about the MSc Food and Nutrition, and this has 9 modules, and consequently there are exit points at a PG Cert, which would be 4 modules, and a postgraduate diploma, which would be 8 modules, and we'll come to those in a minute. At this point, it's important, I think, to identify 2 points. First of all, I'm the course director, and that's Dr. Chris Gill, and secondly, that this course is accredited by the Institute of Science or Food Science and Technology, IFST. The sorts of, I suppose, jobs and areas of interest that this MSc would open up are obviously in the agri-food industry, be that in terms of food companies per se or the broader agri-food space. Obviously, research, nutrition based would be available. You're going to have additional knowledge in terms of measurement techniques, and also this could be valuable in terms of quality management or in nutrition companies as a whole. And I suppose overall the purpose of this MSc is really to develop a knowledge and understanding of key topics relevant to food and nutrition. So you cover aspects like food regulation, and that will include policy and legislative aspects, but there's also going to be development of creative and critical thinking through engaging with the scientific topics regarding the various elements of nutrition. And then there's also going to be a development of research skills through several of the modules, not least being the research project. So you can see there will be a range of skills from a regulatory framework, but also then enhancing your critical and creative thinking, and also your R&D skills, which again pins back to why this is going to be useful when you're applying to jobs in the agri-food sector or government or research broadly. So why would you study food and nutrition in Ulster? Well, I suppose we have a world-class research facility. That's the Nutrition Innovation Centre for Food and Health, or NICE, and this has a very high international reputation for nutrition-based research. So you're being taught by people who are, in fact, internationally recognised and world leaders in the area of nutrition research. So good people. And also, as you've mentioned, this course is accredited by the IFST, so that's an external body who's looked at content and then provided their accreditation to it. And as you can see, 80 to 100% of our past students after 15 months are either in full-time employment or have moved on to further study. So again, a good conversion rate. The course is all about flexibility. And with that in mind, there are two approaches that are offered. The MSc Food and Nutrition can either be conducted in a full-time model, which takes 12 months and runs over 3 semesters, or it can operate in a part-time mode, which takes longer. So the part-time mode is over about 24 months. And as you can see from the screen here, they occur in a very specific order. So in semester 1, if you were undertaking this course as full-time, you would first of all complete a module in food and health. You'd also be completing a module in risk assessment, which is to do with nutrition, pharmacology, efficacy and safety of nutrients and food toxicants. And you'd also be conducting a module looking at research methods and biostatistics. So again, skills that are going to be necessary for research and development. And in semester 2, I'll just come to you in a minute, Josh, if that's okay. So in semester 2, you're going to have nutrition and health claims, functional food components, international food regulatory affairs, and nutritional controversies. So these give you a broad range of knowledge bases, from the likes of risk assessment, where we're talking about how food toxicants or supplements or nutraceuticals are considered safe for use. Nutritional risk assessment, where we're looking at the tools that are used to measure intake across the populations. Research methods and statistics, obviously, is fairly self-explanatory. And then we have the components including the international food regulatory affairs. So Josh, you've asked if I've started as a full-time, can I change? Yes, if you were to enroll as a full-time student and found that the 4 modules became challenging, then certainly there is an option for you to switch to the part-time course. And as you can see over here, the part-time course is only 2 modules per semester, and that's why it runs for the much longer time. So the full-time model is 4 modules per semester. The part-time module is 2 modules per semester. But what you'll note is that they are in a defined order. So you can't choose when you want to do them. They occur in a very fixed, structured order, and that's just how the course is designed. You'll also notice here that it says exit with postgraduate certificate. That means that if you completed these first 4 modules and decided that for whatever reason you needed to conclude your studies, you would be able to exit with a postgraduate certificate in food and nutrition. Equally, if you got to the end of semester 2, completed successfully your 8 modules and decided, I don't really want to do the research project, you could exit with the postgraduate diploma. And for those people who are very keen and want the Masters in Food and Nutrition, then it requires you completing successfully these first 8 modules and then undertaking this independent research project where you work with supervisors within NICE, and again you get to conduct independent research and learn these very important and vital skills for developing new knowledge. So most importantly, the full-time course runs for 12 months in 3 semesters. The part-time course runs over approximately 24, and as you can see, that's basically a 2-year approach. So how will these modules be taught to you? Predominantly, it's going to be via distance learning, so it's all going to be web-based, and there will be a range of different approaches There's going to be some interactive elements to it. It's going to be evidence-based teaching. You're going to have lectures similar to the webinar that we're having here. But it will all be based on a very much a distance learning module. So you'll come onto the Blackboard areas, you'll engage with the learning materials, maybe with discussions with the class on various course elements, bits of coursework, and then you will have a range of different assignments to complete as part of any given module. And they will be very much specific to that module and the needs of the module. And they could include things like reports, presentations, essays, or in the MSc research project, it's going to be an intensive literature review, it's going to be an abstract of your research, and then ultimately production of a research paper for assessment. And I suppose as a postgraduate, you are looking at undertaking a lot of work independently. That doesn't mean that you're left to your own devices, but it does mean that there's a support context for you to undertake this independent learning experience. How will we support you? Well, we like to think that we're friendly and approachable, so each of the modules will have a module coordinator, and they'll be the person responsible for delivering that module, say risk assessment or the research project, and they'll be your first port of call should you have any queries, questions, areas that you maybe want a little help with on the module. And after that, then you would contact myself as the course director, who has responsibility for the overall program. So there are plenty of people there embedded in the program to support you as lecturing staff. Once you come to the research project itself, you'll also be engaging one-on-one with one of these internationally recognized research scientists. So again, a really great experience. There's a very strong virtual learning environment, which we call Blackboard, and that's the university's tool for administering online research and online academic teaching. You'll also be supported by access through our library resources, and then a range of student support services, again, all geared around helping you progress through this MSc Food and Nutrition program. Just a quick comment from one of our current students. Actually, this student in question is one of my research students, and what she has really valued is this opportunity to take ownership of her learning and to work independently, but she really valued the point that all of this was in the framework of knowing that all she had to do was email, call, Skype, and there'd be somebody there to help her. So she's always felt very much supported and valued this opportunity to learn independently as she's moved through the course. So in terms of applying, well, the closing date was the 31st of August. We generally allow that to flex by maybe a week or two, but not much more than that. In order to enter the MSc program, you require a 2.2 or better in a science degree, and obviously the rationale for needing a science background is that, as you can see from the module content, it requires a solid foundation in science. Otherwise, you're going to struggle because there is no remedial support in these modules. It is support designed for somebody coming in with a science background. If you were interested in applying for multiple MSCs, of which we have many, and I'd recommend you have a look on the website for our options, again, each of those would require a separate application. In terms of finances, the course fees are around £6,000, but we recommend that you check the finance web page, and as you can see, there are going to be a range of flexible payment options. If you're already an alumni of Ulster University, we will give you a discount to that, and there are a range of other options available. So in terms of finance, you can check that on our website, and they will provide the information about how to fund this postgraduate study. So really, just to conclude, this is about the MSc Food and Nutrition, and as I said, this particular program allows you to exit with a postgraduate certificate or a postgraduate diploma or the full MSc in Food and Nutrition, and this course has been accredited by the Institute of Food Science and Technology. If you have any questions or queries, please feel free to drop me an email at c.gill@ulster.ac.uk. Thank you very much for your time, and if you have any questions, please feel free. Ryan, yes, you can apply after the deadline. Certainly, the course itself starts on the 20th, Monday the 20th. So I would encourage you, if you are interested, to apply now, because even if you're accepted, there will be a week or two of getting administrative access sorted out. So if you're interested, don't leave it until Monday the 20th when term starts, because you wouldn't access the course for another couple of weeks, as all the administrative processes happen behind the scenes, and you really don't want to be having to try and catch up learn for 2 or 3 weeks of content on, say, 4 modules. So certainly you're in a position now to engage, and we can get you onto the course relatively quickly. Okay, guys, if nobody else has any questions, then I'm going to thank you for your attention and wish you the best of luck. Take care.